Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Prospect eSports Showdown's off season. We're currently in the midst of the finals for our GOATS tournament, which we run in the off season between our regular seasons. Tonight, we have Prospect Solo Alt Academy taking on the bench, and the winner of these, I believe, if I'm correct, Platypie, is going to go to the grand final.
Yes, they are. And they are going to be going against CC Vortex, a very strong team who is number one seed currently. So it will be a very, very tough match.
Very tough match indeed. Very excited to see this one. It is a best of seven, so we'll be here with you for some time.
Yes.
So, starting it off, we have um, Zed on the Reinhardt just trying to push his way through, being retired and crew on Prospect Solo Alt Academy. Savante goes down on the side of Prospect Solo Alt, and rather defense here from Zed. Take out being retired. Thrown out them, and the bench takes the first point straight away.
Yeah, with the Zenyatta going down early there, there's not much that space. And then like the Richard kind of just gets clapped upon.
Zed here trying so strongly here to try to hold this spot. He's able to defend, and a grab comes out from Fifi. Big grab. They do live through it. Rally comes out on both sides. I think that the benches will be just a bit stronger, but B comes out by Angie. Archivist does not have Seeds yet. And this is going to go the way of Prospect Solo Ult with a big, massive array of ults coming up. Angie with that clutch sound barrier.
I really like that beat coming out at that time. If he held onto it just a little bit more, trying to squeeze it, I'm not sure the team could have survived, just because of the sheer damage output of goats. But it was
This is
just perfectly
definitely
timed.
one of those comps that we need to have everyone pressing Q almost as quickly as they can. Coming into this one, the ults seem to be on the side of Prospect again, so we should see another thing. Bob coming in, doesn't get anyone. Silver Tells, though, getting two very good picks, being retired, charging on Zed, and we should probably see Solo Old Academy here able to hold this one. Defense always has the advantage. Diva is trying to push it, but Zarya is high charge. 80 charge. I think
Oh,
it's just
big
going to
boot
bleed.
from Angie.
Absolutely. Angie here going very well today.
That's
That's a
just
very
mean there
nice
from Homie
defense
Kisser.
there. Yeah,
He just,
it is a bit
he
mean.
just secondary click. Elim still steals against Angie. Not very nice. But
Yeah,
hey,
they did
kill's a
very
kill.
well. Yeah, they did very well, and you got to keep that damage up. Of course, Zen and Zarya being able to dish massive amounts of damages. Sneaky grab there coming out from Homie Kisser, able to get them through the wall. Diva was unaware. Trance does come out, but a big shatter comes in from being retired and just kind of mitigates all that healing from the Zen. I think that fight was lost as soon as that grab came out. I think that's a bit of a waste there by Savante.
Yeah, but the big thing is that they've double support ulted on the side of the bench, using both beat and trans, meaning now they don't really have any big support ultimates going into the next fight. They're gonna have rally
absolutely.
soon,
Rally
but...
comes in. Beat also comes in by Angie. Should be enough here. Savante here is going to have his trance as well. Big right clip coming in from Homie Kisser. He's on 100 energy this whole fight, just always above 80, no matter what time I've seen him. Looking at being retired, it's just absolutely, it's just smashing his hammer through. He's having a wow of a time. Just no concerns there. Bit of a toxic shatter there, solo shatter on the archivist. Very nicely done.
Yeah, and the other, I do really think it was just a support ult diff that really shut down the bench on that map. Without those crucial ultimates, especially not even winning the fight with them, it can be incredibly hard to come back, especially with as little time as they had to kind of regain those. They didn't even get them back by the end of the round.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just the ult rotations here going on. I think Prospect Solar Academy is definitely having a calmer time of it. There's not really any panic ulting going on there. I think the bench just need to calm down and just think about, when are they using their support ults? When aren't they using it?
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so this time Zed going over the bridge. The Prospect Solo Old Academy goes white side, so they're coming from two completely different angles. Uh, the bench does get onto point first. No picks yet. This is a pretty drawn out fight. Favors the side that isn't white. Favors the bench, and this will be a nice, easy take there from the bench. They did that nice and clean, very clean.
Yeah, I think PSUA just split up a little bit too much on that point and just couldn't get as much value out of the Lucio heals and speed, and especially the Brig.
Yeah, I think I'll go with your naming there, PSUA. It's a bit easier to say than Prospect Solo Academy for sure.
Arcade is
PSUA
going for
coming
a
in
boot.
again from the white. Yes, nice, cheeky look for a boot. Doesn't quite get anything. Zed just pressing W into them. Does get taken out. Did not have the support he required. Being retired tries to take out. Zario isn't able to. And gets punished for that long extended charge. Very foolish, if I don't say so. Silvertails here definitely going very well in his shooting. Brig pushing forward. Has rally, isn't going to need to use it.
Yeah,
Very
it
nice,
looked
yeah.
winnable towards the beginning there for PSUA, but because they did a really good job at baiting out aggression from the bench, but they just weren't able to capitalize enough. But
Yeah,
they're going into a new
again,
fight with a fair amount of ults. Hopefully,
fair amount of ults, but again, they're coming from white. It's like they're expecting these boots, but this isn't boopy comps. Not really, just one Lucio.
that's a
Grab
massive
comes out,
shatter.
big shatter, was needed. Only way they were going to win that fight. Now, the bench need to not use any ults. They did use rally. Not the best choice, but they do have two support ults coming up, and PSUA had to use every ultimate that fight.
Yeah, I do think that shatter was really the final nail in the coffin. Just getting those supports to be unable to heal the rest of the team caught in that grab was very, very smart from Ben Retired.
Big boop onto Silvertails from Angie. Isn't going to be enough. Zed and Cream just plowing through that front line.
Yeah, I, I don't even know like
Just,
what even
just
happened there. It was just
look,
so much damage in such little time.
you've got
But
what,
now they're looking
4 or
at a
5
last
ults
fight
versus
for the
no
bench.
ult. Not good. Again, we've still got 3 ults versus just the 1 ult. Being retired should get his ult, he does. Big bomb coming in with a big shatter, massive shatter leading to a massive bomb out of fear. You've got to look out for that, Zed. That's the shatter you have to stop. They're gonna go for shatter bomb every time they have it up. You need to ult track that.
Yeah, I think they were listening to you. Now they have no fear on that bridge of any boops against the comp from the bench.
Well, I'm glad to hear it here. Let's see. So we've got what? Grab coming out and 3 support ultimates on their way for PSUA. As long as they can just get those up, I think PSUA will be able to hold this next fight quite easily. They don't even have to use any of their ults, just the grab. That's one done, and Archivist did use his ult. Now, I think that was very foolish. One ult isn't going to save you against that amount of damage.
Yeah, and honestly, Ben Retired is using these grabs and just farming up these shatters, just off of
Yeah.
the grabs alone. He doesn't even need to be parrying with the Zed.
He's had what? He's looped twice on Zed here now. Zed's only at 35%. He needs to start farming up this shatter if he's going to feel it. Shatter comes out from being retired. Is successfully held by Zed. Zed coming up on his own shatter now. Should be able to get a nice big one here. Doesn't even need to. Team kill coming out. It's massive play, really. Jeez. I think I like seeing the Sig in here. This Fifi on the Seek here instead of the Diva. I think when you go for like one of those ult pushes, is probably a little more, what do you say, reliable than a Diva bomb.
Yes, I also think that the Sigma has a very unique position in Goats. Uh, with his shield, being able to maneuver it so differently compared to the rest of the shields in Goats, uh, especially with being able to adjust it more frequently, even though there is that 2-second cooldown. But by having that shield, you can block things that are LOS based, like Brig heals, which can be very crucial in a team fight. Especially like Transcendence healing in a Grav. If you grab their
Yep.
team, you can just put that shield in there, and if people on the other side of the shield, they don't get that Transcendence healing. It's
Yeah,
pretty smart
absolutely. Yeah,
play.
blocking the heals like that is very smart. I didn't even think of that aspect. Coming into this, looks like PSUA is getting a little bit more of the cooldowns out. Sig though, using PC on the Sig, using that rock to sort of just halt them a little bit. He does pay for it though. A little bit out of position. They were able to rush onto him even though he used the rock. And it's just going to lead to a nice cleanup by PSUA onto the bench.
Yeah, I do really like the swap to Sig from Fear rather than the Diva. But uh-oh, it seems like PSUA's aggression might have
Might
lost in this
cost
next
them
fight.
here. They have lost two very early on. Don't know how they managed that. A little bit disappointing, I must say. But yeah, the bench is just like, yeah, thanks for that. Just, yeah, didn't even have to work for it. And what are we looking at in terms of ults here? It's looking pretty even. Yes, they have two already on PSUA, but through this window, it's just so easy for the Sigma to be able to farm his ult. Shatter comes out from being retired, but that part of it was blocked and Feet was able to keep up, has been able to use their ultimate, but I think already too many picks onto, oh, a big grab coming out from Cream here. This might just win them the fight. The bench needs to play a little tighter though. Fifi got separated from Zed, and they just don't have that frontal pressure, even though that grab was so big coming out from C team. Sorry, not Cream.
That shatter starting the fight, Fifi almost blocked it. It was so close by like a millisecond.
So
It still
close.
caught. It managed to catch like 4. That would have really turned the fight. But I'm not sure about investing the grab at the end of that last fight, especially now that PSUA is going to have such an ultimate advantage.
Yeah, certainly every ult counts here, but big shatter coming out of Zed, taking down, being retired, which is very important, but Zed also losing. Beat comes out on both sides, and this is looking they're being playing very aggressively at the bench. Charge coming up on C team, he's already at 50%. Trance comes out by Savante. Being retired is coming back with a grab with a shatter of his own. So they're just not gonna quite get there on that push there.
And you can see Zed dies first 2 fights in a row there. Just pretty big for the side of PSUA.
They really do need to keep focusing those heals onto them. Now they were able to sort of cap for a little bit there. They've been sort of drawn in. That was a nice trap laid out there by PSUA. They just played aggressively. I just don't understand why the bench went in so quickly when they didn't have all 6 on board. Very strange, very strange. Rally comes out by Pivot. They do have the ultimates here, but they need to get onto point. The bench need to get onto point if they have any hope. 1%. They were able to touch. They get held up a little bit. This is very close. Don't know exactly which way it's going to go. Every ult is coming out. Nice big bubble coming out from Homie Kisser onto Savante. Savante is living here. Fifi, though, with those range ricochets, is able to take him out. That was too close, absolutely too close for the bench. They can't afford to lose another fight. They have no ultimates, and PSUA has both Shatter and Lucio beat on call.
I do like the presence of mind from Angie there, not to invest beat to save his fellow supports, because he knows they just need one clean fight, and they'd rather take that 6v6 with a beat rather than like 3 supports.
Aggressive beat comes out. And also now being retired with another shutter. It does get partially blocked. They do flip it. PSUA does flip it. But they still have 4 alive on the bench, but they're not able to touch. And that goes to PSUA. Very first map of the game on Lijiang Tower to PSUA.
Play of the game.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what exactly over the whole map was the winning factor for PSUA, but I think it comes down a lot to teamwork and really good ultimate usage.
I think, yeah.
Rarely did we see very bad ults from PSUA. We saw some maybe questionable ones, but nothing where it was like stacked ults or just poorly timed from the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we'll be going on. And of course, this being a 7 map game, we have a selection of 3 to choose from. Um, so we've got Temple of Anubis, Volskaya Industries, and Hanamura for our assault maps today. We'll have to see what they're going to pick. Now, having lost, the bench does get the choice here for what map they want. So we'll have to find out what map they want today. Personally, look, 2CP, it's definitely not everyone's favorite map type. Certainly not anyone's favorite, I hope. If you're one of those one who go, you know what, grinds, you know, my gears and they say, oh yeah, I love doing 2CP. Well, just piss off, okay? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants it. And so it really comes down to, it's a good opportunity though for the bench. At this rate, if they can do a snowball as we see happen on 2CP maps all the time, we might just see a little bit of a momentum shift. I think 2CP is going to be just one of those maps where you can really get quite a change
Uh-huh.
in momentum. So it looks like the bench has chosen to Anubis, Temple of Anubis, out of the other 2. Now, don't worry, if you really do like Volskaya and Hanamura, you may see them again. If the bench get any wins at all, we'll of course be going on to a 5th, 6th, possibly even a 7th map today. So, Temple of Anubis, what are you thinking, Platypie? How do you think they should play this?
Ooh, I don't know. I I'm guessing we're probably gonna see some Orisa gameplay. We haven't seen it
Ooh,
too much, but you know
Orisa.
what? I feel bold. I think that it could be great.
Okay, so let's say we're doing what? Orisa goats. You're playing it what, like double shield style? Or you're gonna do like
Yeah,
triple shield? You're gonna do like
yeah, maybe
Orisa
who knows?
going
Triple
from
shield.
Ryan's peak. Triple shield defense on Anubis. Let's go.
You know what?
Guess we'll just
I think it's gonna happen. I
you
may be
guess.
wrong, but I'm solid in my belief.
Well, let's just hope these teams are ready to show us what they have. So far, PSUA pretty confidently diffing the bench right now as it is with their ultimate rotations and just their general team play. Let's see if the bench can learn anything from them and show us a good, um, a really good round here.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty, let's see.
Okay, well, initially it's looking like I may be wrong. But you know what? I see a ball pick on the side of PSUA,
So what
and I
is it
think
like? Dive-ish? No, I don't
I'm
think so.
thinking
I think
maybe, but I think
no.
they could just be trolling us right now. Ben Retired has been known to troll a lot, especially solo shattering baby divas.
Now this is interesting. So we now have the bench on the left hand side. So, you know, um, which means that PSUA actually chose to be on the attack first rather than the defense. Generally speaking, you do see teams want to stay on the defense if they won the previous match, because the defense tends to have quite a bit of an advantage, especially in momentum. So this is very interesting to see. They're feeling very bold, very confident. We do not see the ball, but we do see a deleting of Homie Kisser, Salad, and Savant by a very sort of almost a dive-esque role play there, coming out of Sebs and Zed.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
often
look
you
at this
see.
dagger.
Oh, that's kind of mean. I think
No,
often a reason people choose attack after winning is just because they get to set the pace of the next map.
Mhm.
But after losing a team fight like that, it really nullifies that
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah, I think, here the bench would start to be feeling pretty good. They might actually think, you know what, we can shake them, we can get them. So I think this is risky. Again, being retired, knocked down, has to use the bubble purely for defense. And yeah, just very, very nice charge there. Coming out of, was that like a charge coming out of Zed or a stun coming out of Pivot? But it was very interesting because it must have been that being retired himself was also charging at the same time and he got knocked. It's not ideal.
Yeah, I think they were trying to bait in a dive and Brig Bash, but I think the coordination might not have been there
Yeah, quite
on the side
possibly.
of PSUA.
They're just sort of tickling the back of them, starting to build up a little bit of ultimate. Now, being retired is beating Zed on that Rhine ult charge. Zed not really able to get a swing in here, only at 50%. They do kill being retired though before it can get that shatter, which means this should lead to another fight win here by the bench, and they're gonna close that bit of sort of ult disadvantage there. Now, Pivot did use the rally here. I don't think it was needed, but I guess he's thinking better safe than sorry. Aurora almost has their beat, so it's quite good. But we are looking at like 5 ults v6 ults. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Nice early pick there on Savant. So that's quite good. It's quite good there by, I like to see what we're seeing out of the bench here after that, pretty average gameplay on Lijiang. We're seeing some quite nice things here.
Yeah, I'm thinking this swap from for Aurora rather than Archivist is pretty brutal. It's a big difference. Like just the amount of heals the bench is getting seems to be a whole lot more. They're not dying as quick. I mean,
Aurora
I don't
here
think
might
they've
be
died
a
at
bit
all.
more. Yeah, Aurora might be a bit more familiar with the Goats play. Big shatter coming in from Zed, sneaking in behind. C-Team goes in for a grab, as well as Homie Kisser. And I think here, being retired does not get the shatter laid down onto anyone. And Ang is the sole remainder out here, and he's just going to get picked off last, I think. Oh, no, he does make it out. Nope.
Oh,
Seb gets him right at the very end.
that is a detrimental stagger.
Yeah, very...
And now, with 30 seconds left, you're looking at,
30 seconds.
does PSUA get full held here?
I think they're getting full held here, Platypi. I think that's just how it's gonna go. Beat coming in from Aurora in response to the Diva Bomb. Diva Bomb also coming in from Seb. Is blocked out mostly by Homie Kisser with the bubble. Shatter does come in from Zed, takes out Being Retired and Salad, meaning that all-powerful Shatter is not all that powerful anymore. If he's dead, he can't use it. He can't farm it, he can't use it. I think they've worked it out. They know they need to shut down Being Retired. They know that the Rhine is the carry in a Goats team. And I think they're doing a very good job there, killing him early most fights.
Initiating match.
Yeah, I mean, at like the 10-second mark, you saw again that double support ultimate, not from the Zen this time, from Brig and Lucio. But I mean, with 10 seconds left, it didn't really matter. It doesn't make a difference. You can invest every ult, which is kind of what they ended up doing and what won them that team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was, I was very, very impressed. It's like we're seeing a different team, isn't it, Platypi?
Yes, it's surprising what two substitutions can do to a team. Just they clearly picked up their mental. They clearly picked up their gameplay, and I don't know, their fight planning seems to be a lot smoother. So I
Yeah.
almost wonder if one of the two subs is their normal fight planner.
Well, I mean, often the main support does take a lot of that planning role. Yeah, they definitely do need to take a little bit more of that planning role. Sorry, they do tend to do a lot more of that planning role. So perhaps Aurora coming in with the ult tracking and the fight planning is kind of what's changing things up for the bench.
Yeah. Now it is still drawable for PSUA, but unfortunately it is not winnable.
Yeah, so in comes being retired with an aggressive charge, basically an int. Don't really know what the idea there is. His team wasn't there on his ass following him in, so I think you know what, I think they seen this, they're like, you know what, Temple of Anubis is shit. We could hold it all the way and then they get one ult push and win anyway. So I think they just yielded. They basically just said, I surrender. Yeah. Take me as you find me.
That
Far
was a very
out.
quick to make this series 1-1.
Yeah. Oh well, saves our voices, Platypie.
That is true.
That was a big shatter there coming out from Zed, absolutely.
Yeah. I do think though, from seeing previous prospect matches, having as long as the team is with you when you end like that, it can get a lot of value and you can very aggressively win fights. But unfortunately did not work out for them there.
Well, I mean, because they're not on him, they're not on being retired, so it's a bit of a shame. In that regard, they need to play tight like they were playing in that first game. I don't know if they just don't know how to play like a 2CP or a choke situation like that. Yeah, it's sort of how it is, and we're moving to King's Row now. Hybrid, of course, perhaps should be more affectionately known as Goats Row. It wouldn't be a Goats tournament final or series with the semi-final if it didn't include King's Row.
Yeah.
So we'll be
And
seeing the bench stay on the defense here, meaning that PSUA is going to have to try and go for that attack again. And I wonder if they're, thinking it over as to maybe it wasn't the best idea to choose attack last time.
but unfortunately they're going to be stuck on attack again. The bench is deciding to take that defender's advantage to use that momentum against PSUA, hoping to make it a 2-1 in the series. Now, I am curious if we're gonna see that Sigma or the Diva, because we've seen both teams get a lot of value out of each, and I'm just not sure where the minds of the players are gonna be at deciding whether to play Sigma or Diva. But it's looking like we're gonna be seeing some Diva.
Yes, I do think we'll see some Diva. I think Diva on a map like this, where you've sort of got like almost little, little islands of high ground, can be very, very effective. Homie Kisser is selecting the Orisa. Don't think we're going to see it come out. Being retired, mostly so that he can hear me on the thing say, oh, look at this, we're going to see something new, and then not actually do anything new. He'll probably have a chuckle at that later, no doubt.
Yes, but actually, I would not be surprised if the Ana pick stays on the side of PSUA to try and run some Ana goats.
I think Ana goats can work. I think into the Diva now that Diva has, what is it, like practically no cooldown on her DM, I just don't think playing Ana into goats is that great an idea. It's very hard to get the nades. She does get a nade though, the Ana. So that's a bit of a surprise coming out there. But they were not able to do anything with it. Zed getting absolutely pounded there, and C-Team as well. this should be a take by PSUA here with now 3 picks on their side. I think we just needed to see them kite as soon as Zed went down, but they did overextend a little bit, and you see that with a bit of death on the bench.
Yeah, and if you look at the ultimates, I mean, it's fairly even, but a pretty big advantage on the support ult side for
Nice
PSUA.
stun onto being retired there. Did frustrate his push a little bit. Nano has to come out. Shatter does come out by Zed. He misses most of the team, including that Nano Rhine. So again, I think we are going to see another PSUA fight take. Now, this could be a very long game because attack on a map like this with these long, narrow corridors can get quite a lot done. Ana sitting on the cart where she belongs.
Now they did waste a little bit of time not having anyone on cart so that the Ana could nano, and then when she respawned, hop on a cart, which did burn a little bit of time bank, but I mean they still got more than 4.5 minutes, so it really doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, it won't matter too much in the long run. Could it have been more efficient? Absolutely. Rallies coming in from both sides. Big grab coming in from Homie Kisser, but now another one coming in from C Team with a pretty average bomb. Sadly, it was very misplaced on the wrong side of the cart. And Aurora using their ultimate there, probably when they shouldn't. That fight was lost. You'd lost C Team, you'd lost Zed. You've got to stop using your ultimate too early. It's like it's happening a lot, you know, where they only have one support ultimate up and they think they're going to win with it. You can't win with one support ultimate.
Yeah, and again, you see that strategy from PSU8, just abandoning the cart, letting the Baby Viva sit there and stagger herself.
Yeah, they don't mind a bit of staggering. It's very helpful for their cause, because what they want to do is just keep the splits going, keep them staggered. Big Nano coming out onto being retired by Savante there. Big swing though coming out from Zed. Why wasn't his team up with being retired? Who knows? They just kind of let him like run in there in their back line, and like then they didn't follow him. Very strange plays indeed, and you know the bench will hold here on the corner. I don't really want to be PSUA at the moment, because I can imagine being retired is probably could be giving them a mouthful.
Another very sneaky grab from Homie Kisser. Able to secure that kill onto Zed and Sebs. Very important.
I'd be very interested to see how quickly is Homie Kisser getting up these ultimates. I mean, it feels like it's absolutely every single fight we're getting a big grab out of Homie Kisser.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. At the start of the match, we saw C-Team build a very quick grab, but
again, they're doing that thing that you've been saying they've been doing. See, we have the Ana is not on the cart, has pushed up, is only going back to the cart maybe to move it now. Playing very far forward, they're not worried about the objective. They just think if they can, like, you know, delete the team here. Now, I just want to pay a little bit of attention to Aurora, to Aurora here, not playing with his with his team at all. That whole fight, he's in the back line of PSUA, and they're really missing out on that speed boost on the rest of his team. Just keep an eye on that.
Ooh, the Nano's invested to the Rhine off the map though. But
yeah,
he does get a
sad.
pick.
He took someone with him. Is it worth? Maybe. Homie Kisser here. A big rally actually coming in from pivot. They should be able to get some conversions here, because I thought they might be able to escape, but it looks like PSUA is not going to be able to escape here, and it's going to get further staggered.
Yeah, I do think there are some very crucial DMs coming out from Sebs, stopping a lot of the damage that helps PSUA just farm ult charge.
Yeah,
so
I think
they're
here
slowing down a little bit more in their ult building.
Yeah, and as you can see, Savante here has to go for just nades onto 1 or 2 people. That one was a very good one. Onto Zed, that's the person that has to be antied, especially when C-Team does not have a bubble for him. Shatter coming out, partially blocked by C-Team. Somehow it saves Brick, but not the Tsar. Very strange. That might be my lag there, not being able to see what exactly happened. But they're not being able to get long pushes of this card. You know, there's only 2 minutes remaining, and based on the gameplay, you would have expected something more around 4 minutes, but they don't have someone on card at all times on PSUA. Very strange. Big charge there coming out from being retired and just disrupting the team so PA could get 2 picks onto their support and the tank. Very good sort of combination there and enablement there by being retired for Fear and his well-placed bomb.
Yeah,
Grab coming out. Go on. Alrighty, so big beat coming in there out of Angie. Bomb coming in from Sebs to try to just maybe get a pick or two. Doesn't get anything. Shadow comes out from being retired. Does get the result he wishes. Zed won't be able to hold on here, and they should cut this with more than a minute unless Aurora can do something nuts, but he cannot.
Yeah, I think with this, the pushes on the side of PSUA, they're really not able to get as much progress after each fight, and I think that's due to the lack of damage by not having a Zen. But they're still playing for that Ana, even though the antis are often getting eaten. They're still able to build up that nano quick and just feed it to Ben retired, and he gets to make all the space he needs.
Yes, that's certainly the case here with Savannah getting those crucial antis and being able to continuously nano Ryan. I think, you know, they've just got to make it so that, you know, and this really falls down on Sebs and Sebs alone, really, maybe even a little bit on C-Team with just a bit of bubble management, sort of realizing he may need to keep, or she may need to keep, the bubbles up there for cleansing nades. Because it's not reasonable to expect Sebs to be able to eat every single one. Sebs is doing her job in the way, you know, that Savante can't get, you know, 4-man antis or 6-man antis. But the cleanse of the single target, that's really gonna have to fall down onto C-Team.
Yeah, and we're not seeing any compositional swaps between both teams for this next round.
I think that might be an error for PSUA. I think on the defense, you're more likely to need all those defensive abilities. It's very hard to sustain through an engagement, and of course attack will want to engage more than defense. Angie goes down immediately, straight away. I think this is going to be a very first quick take onto first point. Like before, being retired though, catching Sebs out. Sebs is going to die. Look, they really probably just need to focus on just capping this point. They're still up a bunch. Fear goes down. Sorry, Salad goes down. Being retired does get the pick onto Sebs on the Baby Diva, but it's really not too much of a worry here. But it looks like they're going to try and re-engage here. PSUA is going to re-engage here. They feel like they can. They're trying a 5v6. Oh, well, 5v5, but now 6. Big Nano coming out again onto Homikitsu, who is full charge, but the trance does come out, and Homikitsu is not able to get off that grab in time. But look, they made a valiant effort. They did try to come back and stop the cap, so...
They also managed to try out, I believe, 3 ultimates of the side of the bench, which can really help against the snowballs. But unfortunately, Savante goes down right away, and it might have been for naught.
Now, this time, the bench has chosen to leave someone on the point, which is different to PSUA, who kept on sort of coming up, losing time, going back forward. But, you know, they're now getting a bit of a move on, and they're just trying to just minimize the amount of space that can be taken by PSUA. Rally's coming out, and the bench thoughtfully move back and just kite so that they can't get the full benefit of this rally. They're still going to have the leftover armor, but they're not going to get that sort of speed and rallying going on, which is good for the bench. Being retired gets deleted as quick as you can say gone. And we should see Salad here is trying to just chip down Zed. Zed playing very defensively. They do leave Silvertails on the bench, but with full Inspire up and no Reinhardt, I think PSUA is going to pretty comfortably lose that fight, and they'll just try again for an end of point hold. They do get the 3 fights on here, which, you know, does stagger quite a lot of time. Rally coming out early from pivot, team sort of building up the armor, and able to get a bit of an engage. Being retired, trying to chip away at the back of it. Big mech call in by Seb, getting 2 people in the grab. Now, we don't see that very often. Being retired certainly wasn't looking for it, and so Seb was able to just get that nice easy thing, and we seem to have had a DC. Somebody has DC'd. We'll have to see who it is shortly.
Yes, I'm not sure who, but I mean, we
Apparently,
saw on PSUA's attack, Fear got that fight that was basically won off a 2K remake, but Seb saw that and said, "I want to be part of it." Okay, it looks
yeah,
like both
absolutely.
teams are already ready, so I
Must
guess
have
we
been just
can
one of those momentary, you
unpause.
know, internet service provider issue, as per the usual.
Yeah,
We won't blame Blizzard just this time.
yeah.
Nice cap, 4 minutes 40 on the clock. They've basically equaled, if not bettered, PSUA's. I think PSUA was at 4 minutes at this stage. So they've got an extra 40 seconds on them. If all goes the same, they could have a lot more if they take this fight very well. Bomb comes in. The Zed moves back very thoughtfully. Is going to sort of pay at the moment. The rest of his team didn't quite move back as far as he did, and I think that's going to cost him.
Yeah. I also think that Ana needs to be playing maybe a little bit further back. Lots of times she's a little caught out in the front line, but
Yeah, I have
especially when
seen
Ben
that.
retired disengages. Oh, like right now, for example. But they get that big anti onto the Lucio, who's at half HP, but he's just gonna LOS it and go in for the next fight.
That's the problem with goats. Every bit of damage you do is a bit of healing done for them. And so you're not sure if it's quite worth it because you're just helping them get their support ults up. Big grab coming in with nice swings coming in from Zed. Well timing his swing and shield so that being retired had no opportunity to get a counter shatter during that grab. 3 minutes 25 on the clock. Things are looking very, very nice for the bench here, but we have almost 4 ults coming up here. Big shatter coming out from the bench, trying to just take out the Reinhardt. Is able to block a partial shatter there. Big beat coming in by Aurora. Not used too late this time, or too early. Silvertails also using the trance here. There was one anti there, but Zed was able to hold it so that they weren't able to get any benefit out of it on the side of PSUA. So a nice sacrificial style charge there by Zed, relying on the rest of his team to keep him up while being retired is knocked down, and that goes the way of bench. So far, we now have, what do we have? We have 2 minutes 45 to 1 minute 9 remaining. This can go either way. It's definitely, the bench certainly has a lot more time to chew on, but we know if you get your ultimates up, then there's plenty of time for everyone to have their ultimates up with 1 minute 9 on the clock. That, you know, PSUA could still, you know, run away with the ball here.
Yeah, I mean, that last fight you saw the double commit of support ultimates, which initially looked like an actual really big play from PSUA, but that delayed beat from Aurora really just cemented their lead in that team fight.
Yes,
Three
but
attackers incoming in
we'll just
30
see how
seconds.
cemented it is. Because while they're in this lead, maybe, you know, being retired and go have some, you know, quick drying cement coming up.
Attack the objective.
Yeah. It looks like Savante might be opting for the Zen now. on this attack, trying to maybe hope for that quick pick to really get as far as they can with this minute 9.
I think, you know, perhaps they've seen just how well the ult rotations go. When you have the Zen Lucio ring, I think the ult rotations are a lot more sort of consistent. Well, say when you have this Mana, you're sort of relying on that shadow for so Zen here trying to defend, being retired, looking to push up. He goes into that charge, he never hits there with, look, being retired, I think it's going to cost you. I think it's cost you one too many times, all your charge, being instead, there's a lot of old charge. Good news is, Zed was down. Zed is down, he has to come back, but he should get there. Oh, big hit there, coming up from being retired, onto Zed, still the tail, onto being retired. This is a 5v5 now, and they're not able to push anywhere. Bigger trade there right for the bench than it is for PSUA. So, we're now down to last fight territory here on the side. PSUA attack. They have to get big here. But big grab comes in by CT. No chance of any touch by PSUA. Massive grab coming out by the C team there. The nice charge through from Ned. Very
now
well
again
done.
we're looking at a draw or loss situation for GS.
I mean, look, 2 minutes 44. Is it possible to get the draw here? Yes, it's not quite as
Initiating
dire
match.
as it was on the Temple of Anubis map, where they would have had to hold for 4 minutes. This is only 2 minutes 45, which is give or take about 5, maybe 5 pushes. It's still quite bleak. 5
and
pushes is quite a lot.
we did see that the initial push from the
Ready
bench
for
on
battle.
the first point was a little bit slower than that of Prospect Solo's Academy, so it's very possible that they also might get full held, but with the momentum they got and the time bank, they could probably just play for ultimates, and I mean,
Yeah, I
6
mean that's what I would
ultimates
do.
can't do much.
So what they want to do is they want to minimize the ability of
No point in
PSUA
fixing it now,
to
you'll
get
probably
the
just
ult
mess it up.
farm up. So it's going to rely a lot here on Silvertools being able to get the discords and get the damage farm, as well as CT to get his energy up. Because of course it is easier to defend generally than it is to attack. So, you know, PSUA is not out of it yet.
Yeah, you see a little bit of a swap. Same heroes, but different players on the side of PSUA.
Yes, we do have of the defense. That's quite a change. They're really playing a defensive game. Being retired, getting that big import really does help. I think the target focus here is very well done. Then we are just allowing CT beaming through them. And that's going to go to the bench again. So initially we did see Prospect Solo Old Academy, you know, getting that first map out, but the bench has come back 2 maps won in a row. It's good to see maybe Lee Charles is just on that level. In any case, I think we're now going to go to a 5-minute break to give Platypi and I a little bit of a break, because this series could go for quite some time yet. Okay. Welcome back for this halftime break. Prospect Solar Old Academy taking on the bench. Current scores 1-2. The bench having won the last two maps. The next map we're going to see today is going to be Rialto. They had a choice of 3 maps. They had Rialto, Junkertown, and Dorado to choose from, and they've chosen Rialto. So we probably are not going to see Junkertown or Dorado today. At least I hope not. I don't really want to cast 8 games because I think my voice will not cope through it. Or platypies here, hey?
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be rough if it lasts that long. But we're going to Rialto. I'm thinking we've seen Lucio from both sides. We might just get some pretty big boops right away. Uh, you know, pretty unlikely because it's always like watched for by the teams to make sure they don't get booped. But I feel like the stress of this game because it's so close that people might just like forget that one thing and boom,
Yeah.
easy environmental kill.
Yeah, they might get so like tunnel vision on that Rhine or something, they're not even watching where that Lucio is going to come from. So we've certainly seen that happen before. We see that happen even in Owls. So maybe we'll see if we get some nice juicy boots. Especially Angie. Angie is very good at getting I have noticed over the time that I've been casting for this tournament, both off season and on season, he's good with these boops.
Yeah, and I do think it is worth noting actually that during the regular GOAT season, Prospect Solo Ult Academy 3-0'd the bench. If I recall correctly, it was a pretty close 3-0, but still a 3-0 nonetheless. It's very clear that the bench has checked the VOD. And
check the VOD.
they have a lot more ready. Now, Aurora is stalling, ready for a group, but drops down. And now they're going into a 6-speed tie.
Yeah, this is Aurora going for that boop there. Did leave his team down without that amp heal or amp speed to take it on, but Aurora does get a pick on the homie kisser, but Angie onto Zed, and Aurora getting salad as well, but Fear onto CT.
Aurora's still there, and he's gonna get a third!
No way, he gets three boops there, but it's not gonna do much. All it means is that they can't move forward as quick, because the boops, you know, it's better in a way for the attack than it is for the defense because of where that spawn room is, you know?
Yes. But they just don't even notice them. 3 people get booped individually and they don't know. That's kind of crazy.
Like, after the first two, like the third one, you've got no excuse.
Yeah.
A big shatter coming in there from being retired does end up in a cleanup onto Zed. This sort of map feels more like their style, you know, there's not this choke point here that they really have to worry about. They can take a lot of this space in front of the current choke point, which is what they do. As you see, Beam Retired has moved up so far, leaving poor Fear here all alone on the point. But again, nobody was there with Beam Retired who is up far. It must be of great annoyance because it's something you should do. You should go up with your main tank. It's just driving me nuts. Trance coming in there from Delavante, and now I think Speed has come out as well by Angie. Big bomb there by Sense because being retired, having been dead, there was no shield to block them from that.
Salad managed to try and back a little bit, but unfortunately not enough to cover the entire team. And they do also double support ult on between Savante and Angie, using that beat and that trans. Which is a little unfortunate for the side of PSUA to try and retake this.
Yeah, and now it's kind of like swapped a little bit for the advantage. Yes, we have Rally coming in by PSUA, but I think in pretty much every other way, the bench should beat them on the ult charge. We have the Shatter is up. What a that's a beautiful shatter there by Zed. Just timed so nicely. I don't think Being Retired was quite expecting it. He thought that maybe they would wait a little bit more, but I think, you know, at this stage, the bench just want to get a bit of a ult advantage over PSUA. So just sacrificing the one ult there, and now they're coming up on almost every other ult. It's looking very nice for the bench here.
Yes, I think going into this fight, really not too many ults for PSUA besides this rally. Hopefully they can use to kind of.
They're going in for a risky thing. Trance comes out to protect, and very luckily, this grab comes out by C Team as well, so that the use of this, they're going to try and block this Baby Diva from killing themselves, but they were not able to body block there. Was very quick onto the thought there.
They did trade the one ult on PSUA for the 2 on the bench, but I don't think it makes too much of a difference because PSUA doesn't have many more ults, and the bench is going into almost 4 now.
Alrighty, Rally comes in here by Pivot, getting out the trance. Big shatter by being retired there. Has been unexpected, but that Rally just keeps up the team, and of course Aurora comes out with the beat as well, which just further assisted. The grab comes out, they're not going to be able to get any advantage out of it. Their only hope here is to live until the rest of the team comes back, but that's just not going to happen. So that didn't even make it to the first point. This is not looking very good at all for PSUA.
No, it is not. This is a pretty rough spot to be in, and you gotta be thinking about where their mentals are at right now. I
Initiating
mean,
match.
you gotta pull up something really clutch to win this map and block the bench from just taking the series right here, I think, right? Unless,
Well, I mean,
oh
they
no,
can't
two
take
more.
the
They need
series
two more. They
quite
need two
right
more.
here. So if they win this one, that'll be a map, a third map. But then, I don't know. Like, if they're winning 3 maps in a row, what are the chances that PSUA is coming back from it? Because they've got to get to 4 map wins. You know, it's not looking good for PSUA. I think here we're going to see the bench win 4 maps in a row. I think that's just how it's going to go. But look, they did do poorly on the control, so it's quite possible that a bit of momentum can be brought back by PSUA on the control. But I do not see PSUA winning this map. It doesn't even make it to first point. I think the bench have the capability to, you know, with 4 minutes to get it to the first point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going for that, I really think we're gonna need some clutch boot from Angie, kind of matching Aurora, seeing how many he can get off the map.
Well, let's see. Let's see if Angie gets these really nice boots that he's going to need without sacrificing the lives of his team. Pivot goes down first. There's going to have to be a little bit of a reset there by the bench. Being retired is just, again, playing that very deep, very far forward positioning. It's going to result in a bit of a fight win for them. The bench needs to just calm down and just wait, just regroup. You have the spawn advantage. Just take your time.
Yeah, the bench is playing
Stop
very
staggering.
split right now, but the Zen playing split was able to demech the D.Va.
That it comes out by being retired. Misses, I think, just about everyone. Might have got a brick there, didn't quite see. Zed here just being very heavily pocketed by his team. Using that spawn door to his advantage. But this is very nice control here by PSUA. Very good for just, you know, buying some time here. Honestly, you know, if I was bench here, I'm looking at going upstairs and dropping on. A grab comes in. It doesn't quite split them like they would have hoped, and Trance does save there. Zed just trying to demech that D.Va. Does get the demech. Rally has come out on both sides now. It will sustain a little longer on the side of the bench, but isn't going to get them here. They're not looking at the same targets. They're not chasing the same targets, and it's hurting them. It's hurting them real bad.
Yes, I think crucially, unlike King's Row, PSUA is able to run this on it and just use it and get that sustainability to win these long drawn-out fights that they didn't have before.
Yeah, they really
If they're
want
not
to
winning a
have
fight in the first 5 to 10 seconds, they're not winning that fight. That's what we've seen before, but with this Ana pick, it really helps them.
Shatter comes out, doesn't really do. Oh, that's actually a very good trade. Brig can go for. Oh, C team, I really wish you hadn't done that. I think that was a bit of a throw there. But Salad was down. Sallad's going to take ages to come back. You don't need to stack. You just need to regroup and take an easy 6v5. Fortunately, the other team's attention is divergent. Big shatter there from inside the grab to just stop the ability of being retired with that nano to taking on the team. Sacrificial play there by Zed isn't going to be enough. They're just sort of rushing it. They're not pacing themselves on the bench. They have the ability to pace themselves. If they get a pick and the other team gets a pick, it's so much worse for PSUA than it is for the bench.
Yes, I think
realize that.
Savantri is getting so many sleeps onto
So
the
much
enemy
value
D.Va,
there.
but still not too many big antis that I've been able to see.
No, it's going to be just about impossible to get the antis off with Sebs. Sebs is doing a really good job at eating those nades. He's missing some of those sleeps though. They're not as easy to see, especially with all the crap that's going on as a nade is. So he needs to start looking out a bit for that. But he's stopping the main threat.
Yes, and
Big
going
rally.
into this fight, not sure
rally.
what PSUA can really do against all these ults.
Big shatter there coming out from Zed on the bench, taking out, being retired. This should end, holy moly, quadruple kills coming out left, right, and center onto like just about every player on the bench there. It's a little bit crazy. Yeah, this should be a pretty easy final retake, but I mean, PSUA has done such a good job at holding this. Zed has gone up, trying to take out Salad and kind of stagger their team a bit so they can't play as this one big brawl. He's doing an incredible job there. I think Zed there had some really key plays there, went for the hero plays, and they did pay off.
Yeah, but as we can see there, I think PSUA is not going down without a fight. They were so incredibly close to winning that there.
They absolutely
12
were.
seconds left when they finally like really lost that team fight.
That first fight, yeah, just that first hold, it's insane. Really good spawn hold indeed.
Yeah, I mean, they got him to overtime. There's not too much more you can ask for if you're gonna be losing. If you can match, but get him to overtime.
Yeah. Well, that was quite intense. That was actually very intense plays. Um, yeah. Gosh, they did so well, PSUA. I was quite, I'm really it was really well done by PSUA, but I think in a way it was more just badly done by the bench than it was goodly done by PSUA, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
100% agree. But
Well,
I mean, it's just got to be so hard to get that close and still lose.
yeah,
If
I'm feeling for him. I'm feeling for PSUA. You would have thought with that hold, you had a really good chance of sort of winning that, but then the grab comes out and the shatter comes out from Zed, and that's it. But now we're moving on to this next map, which now we have. So we no longer have Lijiang available. It has been chosen, so it's now a pick out of Nepal and. Oh, what was the other one they had to choose from? Anyway, I think they'll pick Nepal anyway.
I believe the other one was
It's the
Oasis.
second best, Oasis, yeah. Oasis or Nepal. I think with these, when you've got Angie and you've got Aurora and the boops that we know both those heroes can get, I think, you'd be pretty upset as the Lucio to hear them pick Oasis. So I think we'll see Nepal come out. And we do, I think. Are we? Are we going to see Nepal today?
We
Which
are
is the
gonna see
question.
Nepal,
We are going to see Nepal. Very good.
but
Alrighty.
they're just taking one
Just
second.
waiting.
I think a player might have a frame dropped or something. Okay.
Oh, well, it happens, does it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nepal. So we've got 3 points on Nepal. So we've got Sanctum, which is the indoor one, which is every Lucio's favorite map, or maybe well. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Can we get a poll going? If you're a Lucio, do you prefer Ilios Well or do you prefer Nepal Sanctum?
I don't know. Personally, I kind of prefer Sanctum. Or I mean, well, because Sanctum, you have a lot of times that you go for it, but the distance is like they land just on the edge and it just gets you tilted. But on well, there's a lot. It's a lot easier to get those boops in.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like everyone's always really, really alert for the well ones, and I find it very hard sometimes. Like they just stay too far away from the well. But because Sanctum, like everyone's like trying to fight this point, and they're also afraid of like the damage and stuff coming from that little horseshoe section. I feel like it's easier to get some of the boots
Yeah.
off, and they seem to get a really nice sort of rebound off that wall as well, as the Lucio. So I don't know. Personally, I prefer to pull Sanctum, but I guess we'll see what people have to say.
Yeah. And it's looking like we're probably gonna see the Ana goats unless they are trolling us on the side of PSUA. They're almost definitely trolling us on the side of the bench with a Fall Larissa Roadhog comp, but I could be wrong. Yep,
You call them
they're
as
going
soon as you
back to
call
the
it, they change it off.
they're going back to
Sadly,
their
very
tried and true
sad.
Reinzar Diva.
Capture the objective. Hello.
Well, let's see. So we still have a bench here on the blue side. For anyone who's confused as to which team's on which side. Being retired does come forward, but you know, the bench did beat them to the point. Zed was so low, he was naded for a time there, and that just stopped him from being able to get the pocket that he needed. So although they were first on the point, they were also first off of it. So we'll see PSUA take this, I believe. Homie Kitsa has a nice amount of charge there, but they do get a D-mech onto Sebs there. Sorry, onto Fear. Oh goodness, this is actually all over the place. It looks like they're going to come back and take it. Zed has come back and actually come in and gotten 2 or 3 critical kills there. And it's actually going to go the way of PSUA with only the way of the bench with only 14% claimed by PSUA so far.
That is kind of crazy. That micro disengage from the rest of the bench when Zed went down, but being able to just survive that and, I mean, live that and retake that when he came back, it speaks a lot.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, Aurora, what are you doing? Massive, massive in there by Aurora into, oh goodness me. Anyway, big grab coming out from C team isn't going to be enough. They don't have the speed, they don't have the sustain. Being retired and sellers, just cleaning up shop here and farming up those ultimates as well. So they're coming into this fight. We're going to have 3 ultimates on each side, which is going to work out sweetly for defense.
Yes, but importantly, they're almost got Shatter too on the side of the bench, which could be big, but we have seen Ben Retired build these Shatters up at incredible speed, especially when he ends in like that.
Straight in, Trance coming in to protect the rest of the team from being retired isn't going to do anything. B comes out now too by Aurora, but you've already lost this fight. I think that was a foolish one. They are trying to get a sneaky back cap by Sebs there, but it's not really going to do anything except to reclaim just a little bit of extra space. They can't exactly claim yet. I think again we're seeing, oh dear, big bomb coming out from Sebs and Pivot to save the day. They get a couple of picks, and that's very, very, very fortunate for the bench here because they had no right winning that fight. They may still not win it. Big nade coming in there by Savante into the grab. Sebs, of course, was already D-necked.
That was really good there on the side of PSUA, keeping that Zarya up, making sure she can stay high charge, and then, I mean, grabbing and getting all that damage in with high charge Zarya and that anti really just seals that team fight.
Yeah,
even with that man disadvantage.
Alright, so we're looking at the top right here now. We have, they're coming in from the high ground and taking this side thing rather than coming up that main path. Big charge coming in by Zed. Isn't going to work that well for him. There's no nano for him to save him. But he gets enough of disruptions done that he's able to sort of drive them into a place where C-Team can just get yet another big grab. C-Team's grabs have been nuts. Big sleep though onto C-Team, but woken up immediately by the brig on the side of PSUA. Probably much to Savante's displeasure. And we have Zed doing a nice little teabag over Homie Kisser there.
That was a really big play from Ben Retired though, forcing out that rally. It's pretty crucial now that they only have one support ult up and then are now equal to PSUA on the Lucio.
Yeah, I mean really this is going to come down to is the nano going to be bigger or is the trans going to be bigger? Instead it's going to get his ultimate up in time to do anything with it. Ben Retired has been nano. Zed is already dead. The trans did not come out when it needed to. It's far too late. Aurora does have what being ready to go though. He needs to use it. No, Zed is down. He didn't use it. Aurora, what are you doing? Why are you holding it? What's going on here? What is going on here? Being can't be used. Oh my goodness! What are you doing, son?
very big momentum shift and really open it up for not entirely reverse sweep, but I mean, as close as you can get to the reverse sweep.
Oh my god. I never want to see you play like that ever again.
Yeah, I mean, and
The bench doesn't mind a bit of flaming because, oh, I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry.
yeah, I mean, we've seen a very common theme, especially on these control points, of just late support ults that really don't get much value. Like that trans was far too late after Ben was trying to pick 2 and got it and put his shatter down. Really not too much that's gonna come out there.
Alrighty, well we do see here, again, that one. Did not say which is better at this moment. Nice nade coming in. Nice Savanta on to bring there. Early kick. But Beard does go down. Elbow as the D-Max sets down. Finish on the line. It's going to go here.
I mean, he wasn't playing too bad before, but we've really seen Savante step up since King Pro. Just constantly getting value and keeping his team up.
Now, while we're in this little bit of a lull, I will say we get an answer to whether well is their sanction, which should take that, and it's going to come down. But big nade coming in there by Savante. Very, very big. Salad also rallying. Getting a little bit of armor. That's reset them straight away. This is, you know, they're on the back foot at the moment. The bench. It's going to be very hard for them to be able to establish any presence here. It's very hard to take on this, and you really need. They almost have to rely on the SUA ultimate, but they do get to sneakily come in on the right hand side. Don't try does come out. Don't have much other ults left. C team has the grab. Didn't use it in the bomb. Against the standard side. She has chosen to hold on it.
I mean, that fight 2 fights ago, Salad rallied well. Pivot was still at 50%, and now Pivot's still getting their first rally. And Salad's, I mean, 25 away.
From second one, yes,
now.
Just absolutely. Already had Nano. So, you don't even have first speed yet. Anki has closely. They're able to aggro beat. Pivot does just get the rally. Big grab coming in from C team. Zed was waiting for that shadow. They're able to catch it. So can they defend and like hold on to it for that bomb? Because the first defense of SUA lasted all the way from 0% to 99%. So they need to get to 100. They can't afford to lose the fight. The pressure is on. If you let them get any fight, they'll just ask them to get enough back and away.
Big rally going into that fight. Stay alive. This is coming amazing. But that trans is a little bit
I think, you know, in that situation where you've pushed like the bench into that little room, it's just not enough. You know, they're going to get more damage onto you first. Because they had 6 in the little room and they only had 2. It's not going to look too good. So far so good. Zed has his ult, but the ult is not trying to stack up on nice shadow coming out there by both sides. More coming out to be revived. CT does get a pick onto Savante and onto Spear. Spear is also being next. Silvertool does get knocked out though. That's coming in is a pretty average space. Diva Bomb doesn't really get much space on anything. Don't think this is going to go the way of the bench here. They just need to stall and stall. Can they even touch? I don't. Oh my goodness! Zed does get the touch on until they get a second touch. I just think, yeah, that's a PSUA. They're very, look, PSUA is very good.
I agree. I mean, you see Ben retired there at that beginning of that last fight, goes in for the pin and takes out the one support that was close to the ult, the enemy break, and makes it so the enemy break at literally like 90% can't even get that rally before the round ends. And it really sealed the deal, meaning that they were just kind of caught without that much sustain and couldn't really do anything against the might of PSUA there.
Aw, thanks everyone.
Well, this game continues. Will the next round be the one? Will it be a draw? Anyway, it is now a choice between Hanamura and Volskaya Industries now. I think we'll see Hanamura come out, and indeed we do. You'll be seeing Hanamura come out. This is going to rely so much on team play because the first point, yeah, okay, you could say that's pretty easy to get. But if you don't get the snowball onto second to take it on attack, trying to take second point can be extremely. Oh, they've changed their mind. They're actually switching to Volskaya. They initially said Hanamura, but now they want Volskaya. So we're going to see a Volskaya take. It's probably, what do you think? What do you prefer, Volskaya or Hanamura? In terms
For the
of being
goat
able to take
style, I
point?
probably would prefer Hanamura just because that first point you're able to. I mean, you have a much more even fight just right at each other rather than on Volskaya. You have to play around that center block that's blocking off that point for for the attack side. You're gonna have to like rotate around that if you want a really clean fight, and it's a lot more confusing. So.
Yep. Now, of course, because Prospect won last time, they also have the choice of which side they want to be, but they have decided to remain on the attack side, which, as we saw last time, did not work out for them on the assault map. So this could be their undoing, choosing to stay attack. But they're ready, and I'm ready. So let's get this ball rolling.
It looks like PSUA needs just one more second. But
Course they
honestly, I feel like Volskaya Industries with all the map geometry there, it probably favors PSUA a lot more than Temple did. Uh Temple really did not help them too much because that high ground was just so dominant for the bench. They could just dive off of it and instantly murder all of PSUA. But since there's less high ground being, like forced as much, you can get a lot more done with the just sheer damage of the tank line. I mean,
Yeah,
the bench
absolutely.
could play on the high ground, but I would feel like it's a little bit of a throw because at some point someone needs to go touch, and with the amount of damage Goats outputs, they're just melted in a second. You really got to play
Yeah.
close together. So
You've got to own that space that you're trying to protect, really, when it comes down to goats.
yeah.
But we'll see how they go. Alrighty, so regular goats
Ready
straight out.
for battle.
Yeah. I would love to see something different, but I know in the final series it's just not going to happen unless someone's still
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but we are gonna see the Ana again against the Zen, which I'm really curious after seeing how effective and how game-changing that was for PSUA that the bench hasn't really opted to try and swap anything up to try and counter it. I wouldn't necessarily say you need to get an Ana your own, but maybe changing your playstyle a little bit, which we have not seen from them over the last two maps after seeing the initial Ana come out on King's Row. But who knows, maybe this map, they're just gonna hard counter it with their playstyle.
Alrighty, so seeing as we thought we would see. Now look, I don't know about the play of that Zed long. I don't know if that does anything. In fact, just asking Zed does get taken out almost immediately. Bothers is being retired. Salad gets separated and given the paper and goes and really leaps her out of the fight. So this is going to go the way of the bench first fight. Probably shouldn't have. Probably shouldn't have played his way. The being retired getting picked and Salad getting isolated just didn't do anything to help him.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a feed by Zed. He dropped down, but since it's not as divey, he kind of just got instantly melted. But that Zed
Alrighty, let's see if we've got, what have we got coming out here? We don't have any ultimates really online yet, except for Nano. Nano will come out. Diva! Sophia on the TV. Going around the back, maybe take up the kill that it does. Big Nano probably not even needed considering the big silver tools at the end there. A bit, yeah, that went down very nicely. Don't really see too much like goats, but occasionally it can be used to great effect.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to see any recontested because of how staggered the kills were from PSUA onto the bench. But going into this, it looks pretty even in the ultimate for the bench, so we're not going to get snowballed as hard. Unless a big shadow comes out here.
A big shadow does come out, but a big name follows. Only 2 down. Let's try to get a 3-mega kill onto their backline. That's cool. So,
again, getting that beat
snowball
cancel.
happens here. Honestly, they might have to get their back, whatever that guy's name was. The 5th rank. Anyway, Rally coming in there from Pivot. He's going to claim back. Big on here. Just help stabilize the team. And facing with the stall wall there, very effective. It did disrupt their brawl a bit and did sort of separate them from each other. So not a bad play at all.
Yeah, I think PSUA may have overalted it just a little bit in the initial fight that they didn't have enough to do that capital. But
Yeah,
they still
so,
have the beat, which is pretty crucial.
Series. Wasting food, taking the high ground, that's me, but coming out of speed, closing in the count, how much damage can you do? Being retired, just on the point forward, they've got that hard move, Rally does, not Rally, Nano coming out, both contact onto big shadow onto Aurora, Bubble coming in by CC to keep it alive just a little bit longer, and they're just not going to have to stay here to be able to contest the fight for longer. We're 85.8%.
What more can Ben retire with there? Getting so many picks, getting that shatter off of Lucio, nullifying his value. But there's just not enough follow-up from the rest of the that.
Rally coming in, nice salad, big grab, 5 CC, big drop, coming out, Monday, and Rose Women, and then Trans company isn't enough to deal with all that damage coming in. I don't think they're going to be able to contest, and that's going to be 2 minutes 30 on the clock for PS2A.
I mean, that's how many ultimates canceled or late on the side of the bench. Honestly, like, it's very surprising they got such a lead in the score with that many ultimates. I mean, we've seen like at least 2 beat cancels on the Lucio and on a 3 late transes that just lost the fight because they just tried to squeeze it, but there's so much damage in goats that you cannot really guarantee that, oh yeah, I can wait just 1 more second to get more value out of this ult. You just got to use it right then and there, or else the enemy team's just
hesitation will kill you.
Yeah. There's too much damage being outputted, even with the Ana. It's not just when the Zen is in play that you get melted.
Just focus, focus, focus. And PSUA, I don't know, maybe they're feeling a little bit more confident after the win last thing, but they're certainly playing a lot better. It seems like they're more willing to follow being retired into the fire, so to speak. because they've been separated the rest of the series. From
Yeah, I mean, we're still seeing the Ana pick on the side of PSUA, which I really think is good for them. But they're also playing split, half on that high ground, although the bench was on the court, and half just down low, which I think actually might be pretty useful for them. Especially with that Diva being able to go up there and help people on both sides.
yeah, Ana here just looking for the day. They're charging in and just getting absolutely melted. Salad popping off very well here. Gonna get the rally up very quickly, I think. 51% on the rally already to just pivots 23. Certainly the ult charge so far is going towards PSUA.
Oh, and you look at the Shatter ultimate. That is massive.
Yeah, I think Zed's gonna respect his life just a little bit more. You haven't got the artist, you haven't got the by 1-0. Diva trying to take on CT. That 100 beat is just going to let CT get this. Grab it as well, but we haven't had time to grab it for next fight. But so will Homie pick up. And they're gonna have the rally and the nano. So again, we are seeing that. Oh, big hit by Aurora onto Fia. That may work out very, very well for them. They need to regroup and reset before Fia can get back.
I do have to call out Aurora a little bit. They did not respect the big Diva 1v1 that was going on at that point. I mean, you just lost a lot of respect in my eyes. It was right there.
Probably not done themselves all that much favor today from the casting point of view. Just that bit bigger. Oh my goodness, absolutely massive Diva bomb coming out of here there.
The
I'm not
presence
sure
of
how
mind there.
intentional that was, but
In Ben Retired's POV, you see the bomb right in front of him. You see he decides to shatter. He gets it right before he dies, so he can get them to all die to the Diva bomb and give his life to the other Diva bomb. That is
a bit of a
pretty
being retired fanboy here.
I mean, my viewers a little glitched, so I have to deal with this kind of thing. It's all popped up when I go to it.
CT here, again, not being able to get the charge up this fight. They're starting to focus feeling to get charged. Every time we're on it, previously has 80. Moment is none. Homie Diva doing a little bit better on that run. Pivot gets a really nice group kill on Fia, and they are going to take the first point. They don't have anywhere near the amount of resources and ultimates to use as Prospect had earlier. So Bench really needs to get their head together. They need to plan out a really good plan. Now, there isn't a lot of ults for both teams. It's basically 2-2. It's going to be Shatter and Rally here today. There's going to be Shatter for the thing, and a better Shatter comes out of there. You need to be watching being time, stopping whatever Shatter comes out here. They just need to focus. Seizing now how he holds. He goes for it. He catches the Diva and is going to help Diva. Very big play there. Very strong. As that Diva will fire energy, they should get it. Beat comes out by Aurora. I wonder if it's needed. Still has his threat. Not going to need it anytime. Yeah, here it comes now. Salad being taken out. This should go straight to Bench now. Are they going to have this more processing this way? It's not a case of are they going to have this more a case of how soon are they going to have this? Is it short coming in? How is it this way? Maggie tries to find his feet. He's going to pop it. They need to melt this ball. They have less time now. They just want to burn as much time as they can. Homie Kid comes out right, charges out out Zed. Nice move coming in to just keep that stall from going on any longer. And this is a really close match now.
Yeah, I mean, PSUA just said, yeah, we saw you stalled with the ball, we're gonna melt your time bank down too.
Initiating match.
Pretty much. I dare say that's probably almost very close to the same words. It's like they've learned from their enemy opponent and they were able to get a bit of a leg up. But this is very close. 2 minutes of 2 minutes 14. You know, I think the bench was very lucky there to be able to get some really, like that really nice shadow came out of Zed, which allowed C Team to get up that third ultimate of his and really make a difference with it.
Yeah. Again, we're still looking at each team's tried and true of the Ana goats and then the regular, I believe Zed's bait with the Winston pick. He's likely to go Ryan, but you know, it's a finals match. If they think it's gonna win, it may win. I'm not gonna doubt Zed at this point after he's shown so much during this match. Okay, yeah, he's taking back. I feel like a little bit of a fool, but
I don't
it
even
happens.
Although we have been seeing that sequence pop up. Please come back. Now, so again going down the right side, there, swinging in, trying like to all the riders while bubble. Now focus on press the W strong. Big nade coming in there by Savante. Very nice shooter. The CC has a high amount of energy there. Isn't getting any pocket, but it's just missing. Both Fear and Homie so long. They should be able to cap with this. They should be able to get something with this. They just want to keep an eye on this Dar who's going to come and recontest the last thing. Angie first coming on, just sort of ignoring the Lucio, waiting for that bubble to come out. Not chasing him. Silvertool does get sort of pushed out. Big move there by Seven and by Seb. First point, second time is going to be taken by the bench. Still have plenty of time to get one, maybe two onto the second. And they have the ultimates too. We've got we've got Trance, Diva Bomb, and Beat and Shatter. I'm doing very well here. Going so that's 4, probably onto about 5 very winnable. Just need to get some nice, really big. But I think Zed may big grab coming out there by keep up, Shadow coming out, but being tired. Don't think that they can hold him. I don't think it's going to be able to take it either. They're going to need to regroup, and maybe there's a stall thing going on here. I think that fight went too long. They should have realized that they lost. The C team is swapping to the ball. I don't know if anyone can touch. Don't know if Lawrence has been there to touch. They are only have 3 of 5 up the top there. Unless C team can do something to stay in stall, this is just going to go. It's going to be first point cap, not second point for bench. So it's 3-2 on this map. 3-2 overall as well. So let's see, can Prospect get that 2 to change to a 4 by the end of this map? So that they win and we'll get a bit of a tiebreaker situation going on.
Yeah, I think the saving grace there for PSUA is that when they went into stall, they managed to burn a lot of time off that time bank for the bench, and they didn't use a single ult, meaning that they went into that second hold with a small yet crucial ult advantage of pretty much even in full ults, but above an ult charge building on, I believe the Beast was the one that was
not
the one there, and just beating when they started committing with that grab especially,
Attackers incoming.
it saved them, and it's really keeping them alive in this series.
Goodness me, this is starting to become quite the match. It's now late on a Friday? Yes, Friday. So it's late on a Friday night. We've all had a long week, and it's just getting even more intense. No calm Friday night games here tonight. It's all on the line. Both fighting to get into the grand final.
Again, we're seeing the Honor Coach versus the Zen.
Let's get you healed up.
Yep, that's been consistent. Big bubble coming in by both. Being retired does get taken out first. They just need to take it out. So make sure those kids here on the side of Ben Stella's run and then a second push nice and easily here. Trying not to overextend, but trying to put PSUA in their place. They know that they want to defend this. I think, some are getting tired. They just want to defend, need to win this map, and then they get to the grand final. They're not going to be exhausted here now. Zed misses his charge, but has his shadow after too late. He's now dead. Zed's getting a nice hit. He retired. The lead team is just going to be clear. Clear is not protected. He has no gear. He uses his name. Zed here, just collecting some of that, eating some of that healing and staying in on the mana. Definitely doing his fair share of eating the nades and eating, oh my goodness, eating that grab. Really playing off himself there. This force is really nice. He's got by Silver Tools. They're starting to push at them. Homie Kid is going to get taken down. It's going very quickly here. Favorite time, charge is pivot off the edge here. Stella with the rally, playing the raid off the best way that he knows now. I think it's not going to be enough. Here comes in much weight. Finally, does something
Push on.
and I think, yes, they've got a couple of downs. Silver Tools and Pivot still haven't come back. So there's a little bit of an advantage. They just need to play it slow. Yeah, speed comes out by 8. No other ults yet. Homie Kisser has his grab and speed. They're trying to hold on to his gun. Couldn't hold on to it any longer. Does take out Sasha. There's not going to be any days coming in. Grab. Help grab the ball. Homie Kisser does take out CP. Oh my goodness, such high charge, but it's not enough, and this is going to go the way of the bench, 4-2, but a great and valiant effort at the end there by Prospect Solo Ult Academy. Whew.
You know what? I have an apology to make to Silver Tongues. He held the translate there, and it just won them that. I am sorry that I ever doubted you as your translate. That is on me. Great play.
Oh my gosh, that's so intense. They were so close. That pick there onto Savante, I think, and that trance that then came out by Silver Tools, absolutely insane. But you know what time it is now, Platypie?
It is MVP and MSP time.
Alrighty, so we're gonna get those polls up to you. Me and Platypie are gonna take a short break to rest our voices so we can actually manage an interview. So we'll be right back, but do fill in those polls while we wait. So MVP for Prospect, we're gonna do being retired, Savante, Angst and Homie Kisser.
Sure.
Angie. What do you reckon? I reckon. Um, and then for alrighty. So these polls should be up now, hopefully. I'll just assume they are. So for MVP for prospect, being retired, Savante, Angie, and Homekisser. Who are you thinking, Platypie?
I'm thinking it's probably gonna have to come down to Ben Retired or Savantre, just because of
Hmm.
how much value they were bringing in pretty consistently. There's a little bit of inconsistency on them for like, I mean, one map each, but the rest of the time they were getting a lot of value and carrying as hard as they could.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Do you think it's on the main tank though to make sure that his team is with him? Because that's the only question I have there is being retired. We did see him sort of playing a bit of those like indie charge hero plays, but his team wasn't with him. Did he not know that they weren't with him, or were they just being obstinate? Who knows? I quite liked Angie in terms of beats. I think Angie's beats were right on the mark. But it's all up to the to our audience here to inform us. Then for the bench, we had Zed, Sebs, Silvertool, and C Team. What are your thoughts there?
I'm thinking, I don't know. I think C Team was very consistent, uh, just across the entire time. But I mean, there was a lot of pop off moments from, I mean, every single player on there. Some not so good moments too, but a lot of the time they were playing really, really well. So I think C Team is probably the standout in my opinion, but not sure.
I think C Team did really, really quite well then. Um, Also, Sebs. I think Sebs just did a really good job. I know Savante still did a lot, but he could have done so much more. The Ana player could have done so much more on onto the bench. And we didn't see any of those big, massive nades come out there. And so I think a lot of that had to do with Sebs there. I think a lot of the peel or the eating of the Ana nade there just really shut down Savante. And of course, we did see Savante had since gotten the MVP for prospect. So we'll get Savante in here shortly. And then we'll see who is going to win this poll here now with the bench. I'll go see if we can't get Savante in.
Yeah, I was also very impressed with Sevs because he he was always there when they needed him. He was at the right place at the right time in almost every team fight. It was very rare that we saw him like out of the right place, and he was always ready to go in and make a difference in the team fight. Now, as we get Savantre in here in just a minute, I think uh, we will soon be talking about MSP, which I believe we're going to be thinking about Pivot, uh,
All right.
Aurora, and Architect, but I could be mistaken on that. But I think we got Savantre in here. Uh, Hi,
Yeah.
Savantre. How was the
Yes,
match?
hello. It was very nice. It was very nice. It was the last one that that we're doing, so I think it was hard fought. It was good.
It indeed was very close. Now, what do you think having that Ana pick over the Zen pick really brought for prospects of Ult Academy to make it that close? Because we saw a big difference once you made that swap.
Yeah. Um the antes, the sleeps. I mean, I don't know if you saw on second point on Volskaya. This the sleep onto the brig and the ante on both the brig and the Rhine right there made him back up a little bit. Dude, that shit was popping right there. So that was really good. The antes were kind of the biggest thing for us. I feel like I just wasn't getting a lot of value on Zen, so we ended up swapping over to what we consider our main composition. And
Uh huh.
I think we just did better ever since I started landing all the antes and shit. But yeah,
So of course you got MVP for Prospects SUA, but uh, if you were not the MVP, who do you think would probably be the next closest and most
Oh.
valuable player after you?
Uh, Salad or Homie Kisser, honestly. Both of them are very good, strong players. I mean, unsung hero, obviously Salad, even though he just has to play Brig and press left click occasionally. It's fine. Um, but yeah, those two are definitely some of the better ones.
So now I believe after this loss you have one more game to determine third place against Backseat Gaming.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, we're
do you
just gonna
expect
hard
that's
throw
going to
that
be
one. Oh
hard
no no
throw? You want
no no,
fourth
we're hard
place?
throwing that one. No, we need to hard throw, or they're gonna like, or they're gonna lose. Like what?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't want to get in.
Yeah,
You don't want to see
bro.
the bench again. You don't feel that you want to just diff them and actually show them that you can beat them, or you're just tucking your tails between your legs.
Well, a lot of people, we were talking about it. We were just like, we're just fighting for third place. It's whatever.
That's
So,
weak. That is weak, man.
hey, that's not that is my opinion, but it's also like half the other team's opinion. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, nah, like work starting up, college starting up, like we got other stuff to do, you know.
That is
What?
Okay,
fair.
I think this just sounds like a bit of an excuse.
Maybe, but like 3 skims a day, kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of taking a mental toll, you know.
Wow.
All right. Well, I think I'll. Well, I don't know if I'm wishing you good luck or if I'm wishing the other team bad luck, because I would like to see, you guys try to take on the bench. But oh well, that's how it is.
Yep.
Let's see. I believe we are going to get the MVP for the bench, which I cannot see the old poll, but they will be in here shortly.
Well, I think now we better go see who got MVP for the bench. I think that was Seb. So thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. Savante, and I think we'll get this next player in.
Yes, thank you. Also, it's a savant trick, but yeah.
Savante,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, you're good. It happens. I'll see you guys.
Alrighty. Hello, Sebs.
Hello.
Congratulations on the win against Prospect Solo Alt Academy, and on your MVP nomination.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you.
So,
I don't know what I was supposed to say. Gonna be real. I kind of zoned out. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I'm sure Platypi has a few questions for you, so I'm sure if you try to answer them, you'll be fine.
I won't zone out. I promise.
so, towards the beginning of the match, we did see some Sigma come out. I believe not by you, but later on when you were in, you pretty much stayed almost entirely Diva. What was the mindset behind that?
Well, I wasn't home for first map. I was driving back home, and so Fifi just played whatever she wanted to play, and yeah, that's how that went. And then I play Diva a lot, and I was like mainly a Diva player whenever I was on a team for goats, like before. And so I was like, okay, I'll play Diva. I usually play Zarya for us though, but we didn't have our normal Diva player, so we were just like, okay, you do that. And so I was like, okay, and it just went pretty well after that. Really good on the first map coming in. I felt like I was doing a lot.
Sure. Yeah, it was very evident the difference between those two maps. What do you think was the hardest thing against this Prospect Solo Ult Academy team that you guys had to overcome to secure this win?
it, they changed up their play style and they changed up to such a weird play style. It was so annoying. I was like, their right kept pinning it and me, and I was like, why? It was so annoying. And then the Ana just held nades for so long, and I was like, who does this? Nobody does this, and it just annoyed me. And it was very annoying, but then I figured it out by the last two rounds, relatively enough to where we didn't lose. But it was really their change up of play style because that just threw me off, and it took me a little bit to get used to it.
Sure. Now,
Yeah,
of course, we
absolutely.
do have a MSP vote, but if you had to pick who is MSP on your team, who do you think it would probably be?
Uh, well, Zed fucking blows. Um, yeah, uh, Zed.
Just said. Oh
Yeah,
man, he never even made it
I
onto
would
the
not, I would have
MVP.
not given it to Aurora. I wasn't here for whenever Ark was here, so I mean, I don't know how he did. I was literally driving home, so I don't know.
You didn't think that when Aurora went diving into that grab
No,
on
I
the
think that was just
ball
pretty quirky
was
of her.
just as quirky.
Yeah,
So
she's
it was
just
just
quirky and different than
quirky.
everyone else.
Okay.
But Zed like hasn't played the game in a while. Um, kind of just tossed sometimes. Didn't listen to me when I was calling. Uh, wasn't very fun, but it was fun to yell over them, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was probably Zed, but next would probably be uh no one. I think everyone else did pretty well.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Sure.
Well, I don't know. I think I don't know if I can forgive Aurora's quirkiness because I think some of the times, but maybe that's just because I'm a main support player. You're always like harsher
Maybe,
against
yeah.
your own. You should be like, you should be more supportive with your own, shouldn't you? But no, you're always
True.
harsher.
To be
Very
fair, Aurora
quirky.
does keep us calm a lot, and
Yeah.
and then also just like helps us like figure out things. So that's why I like
Mhm.
don't think it's all on her. It's like me and her a lot for like
Yeah.
rotations and stuff, and then
Yeah.
Zed sometimes does too whenever
Well,
they're not throwing.
yeah. We did suspect that, didn't we, Platypi? We did suspect
Yeah,
that when Aurora came in, that the comms probably got a lot better because you guys actually started playing a lot more as a team and focusing like the same target and actually getting the ult rotations a bit better.
Oh yeah, on
So
Temple we just called fast.
yeah,
That's all we called.
That's all you need to
We went fast.
in goats.
Yeah, we just hard out tempoed them on Temple, and that's literally why we just dominated that map. And then, I mean, everything else was relatively close sometimes,
And
but
actually,
it's fun.
on what you were saying there with the comms, how much would you say you actually do? Because I
I
was
do a lot.
I was starting to think you do a lot because I was saying you're at the right place at the right time, like every time, and just know where your entire team is. I was like, you got to be the one calling it to just know exactly when to be pushing certain things and always there to peel. I thought you did a really
Yeah,
good job with that.
I try to call that a lot, and then sometimes that just pins, and I can't do anything about it. Um, I can I can't do anything about that. But most of the time it's me, Aurora, and we're just like saying where to go, and then I target call a lot, and my voice feels a little bit raspier than usual right now, and that's because I was just yelling. Also, I was yelling a lot earlier today too, so I mean, it's been a long day of yelling.
Yeah, I mean, with Zed, everyone knows that one Reinhardt player that just no matter what, shift. It's just stuck down. That nothing you can do.
Yeah,
You just gotta do what you can with what you're given.
yeah, Zed does a little bit of trolling.
Yeah, made me think he was gonna go monkey one time,
Yeah,
but
I know which time
no,
you're talking about.
but no. I got all hyped thinking, well, we're gonna see this
Fine.
monkey and like it could be throwing, but it also like I don't know, maybe he's just that cracked at monkey that's just
Zed is
gonna
actually a
work.
very good monkey, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We don't really play together that often. I mean, we're just really good group of friends that should probably play together more.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you guys have been having a good time, and now we've brought your MSP in. You're more welcome
Right.
to stay as
God, Ark, you
well. And we've
suck.
got
I've been wanting this all time in Prospect. I've been wanting this for so long.
so
So,
you just like purposefully like through the first map so
nah.
badly that we would call you out for MSP.
Okay, look, the
Is that is
first
that is
beat,
that how it went?
the
Yeah.
first beat, that was totally on me. The second beat though was also totally on me. Yeah, I got rolled.
So you are making this pretty easy for me. First question: why is it that you've always wanted to be MSP?
I just thought
I
it'd be
gotta know
fun.
now.
Like, feeding is my favorite thing to do in Overwatch, and when you win in feed, it's really fun. But when you lose in feed, slightly less fun, but still pretty fun.
Retweet.
And getting to make fun of your friends is fantastic, so I love to give them the opportunity.
So do you think if you were trying, you probably would have gotten MVP over Sebs or no?
No, if I was trying, which I was, I might have maybe gotten one less Ajax.
Ah,
Oh no, dude.
I'm a flex DPS, okay?
Oh, you're a flex DPS playing Lucio.
Yeah,
Okay,
Shut up.
it's
You
that
used to be
explains
a
that
it's
Lucio
not
explains
the
player.
the
meta. I
speed
used to be a Lucio player, but that was like 2 years ago.
in goats.
Not
wow.
even in goats. It was just
Not
like a
even in
Lucio
goats.
player normally.
Just brawl.
Pre-goats.
It's close enough.
So yeah, I haven't really scrimmed it. We haven't really scrimmed anything, honestly. Like we haven't
Yeah,
really practiced our goats, but the games are good practice. So
real.
Yes. I think there's 2 a week or something, isn't it? So you do
yep,
get quite a bit of practice in the goats, and then as soon as it starts, it's over. You guys have the grand final tomorrow.
yeah,
Oh, not tomorrow.
I was
Next
gonna say
game.
what?
Next game. Not tomorrow. Not tomorrow. That's my bad. Your next game is the grand final. There we are. I'm
y-
kind of a bit loopy. There's another tournament that I've been casting, and that's tomorrow.
Hmm.
So you
and
know
this was
how
my
it is.
last chance to get MSP too, because I'm gonna be benched during grand final.
Probably.
So
You
I'm
don't.
glad I got it in now.
Well, I'm very happy for you. You can join the halls of dishonor and with all the other MSP.
Perfection.
Um, yes, absolute perfection.
I do have one more question for you, Ark. Uh, as the other Lucio player, what's your opinion on Aurora's beats? I know Athena had a pretty strong opinion.
I felt very great kinship between me and Aurora as we both Ajax twice. I was cheering in chat. which I probably shouldn't do as a bench player, but I was having a grand old time knowing that I'm not the only one.
Sure. Well, that's all the questions I got. Athena, if you got anything?
I think we're good for now. Otherwise, we'll run out of questions to ask next time we get
Speed boost.
MSP. And he's off. Alrighty. Well, good luck, you guys, in the grand final whenever you guys choose to schedule that. If I'm not casting it, I'll be watching it. And I hope the rest of you have a very good night. It's gotten quite late now, hasn't it, Platypie?
It definitely has. This is a, I believe, 3-hour almost game.
Yep, that'll do it.
Little rough on
Yeah.
the voice, but great Overwatch.
Very good Overwatch. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you all next time for the grand final. Stay tuned. Watch our announcement and news to find out when that will be. Good night and enjoy.